Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to review some Charlotte Tilbury makeup and compare it with Urban Decay, the latest release Party Favor, and compare all of that with the Naked Honey that we previously saw and really see which one is worth the price. But first, if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. As always, we have every month new giveaway, and this month the giveaway is going to be the Pat McGrath Divine Rose palette, which was launched last month. I picked up 2 of these, and so I'll leave in the description down below how you can be entered in the giveaway. As long as you've left me a way to contact you, you don't need to give it to me twice. Alright, so moving on to the Charlotte Tilbury collection for this year. She came out with the Starry Eyes Neutral Eyeshadow Palette, which when you think about it, $75 for this eyeshadow palette. You could be spending that on a set, not only for the 2-piece vault from Anastasia Beverly Hills, but also for the 3-piece vault, which was like $69, and get 3 really good palettes, or maybe just a very unique one by Pat McGrath for $65 and still have extra money to spend. But no, here you're spending $75 for this set of neutrals. So I will quickly swatch those eyeshadows, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the shades are quite beautiful. I mean, especially some of these neutrals and that olive green, it's gorgeous. Now, I didn't pick up the palette from last year, so a lot of people were saying that there were so many repeats, but I do believe the one last year didn't have as many greens on it, and I find that it doesn't really show as well on camera, but these greens have very nice micro flecks in them, like little sparkly sheens, whereas like if you compare it with the Urban Decay's little micro glitter mica specks are actually more chunkier. So it's side by side. The Urban Decay one, you'll see that in person it actually looks a little bit more glittery and a little bit more chunky than the Charlotte Tilbury one. I would say the Charlotte Tilbury one is more refined. Like when I first got to play with this palette, I didn't notice it much, but then eventually when I thought, that looks very similar to my Urban Decay Honey, it actually is a lot nicer than that Urban Decay Honey, but you are paying twice the price, so I guess there's a reason for it. Now, talking about small little synthetic mica, which is not glitter and it's not plastic, we have this Urban Decay Party Favor palette that came out just this month, and I'm actually not too mad at it. I think this was a perfect palette for New Year's Eve. If you're looking for like more gold and glittery looks, I always try and do like a gold glittery outfit for New Year's Eve, and that's why I picked this palette up, because it seems like it's a smaller sibling to the Moon Dust palette, which I'll compare that to in a moment. This palette is like $30, so $5 per pan, and I think that's decent for a New Year's Eve palette. I think this would work out just fine, but a lot of people were upset that it doesn't have mattes or whatever in it. I think it's good for the use it's intended for, just for a night out or a special event. So as far as the ingredients, however, unfortunately, I've noticed that it does have dimethicone and talc, which some people are incredibly sensitive to. Also has mica. Now, whether it's synthetic mica or not, I tried to contact the company and find out they didn't have any answers for me. But at least they're not like ColourPop, where they use pressed glitters that are chunky and unsafe for near the eye area. There's no information on the packaging that says it's not intended for the eye. It's actually called an eye and face palette. So if you're just going to a party and you don't have any sensitivity to talc or mica or dimethicone, and you don't mind spending $30, then I suppose this is the palette for you. I personally don't mind having it in my collection because so far I haven't seen anything deeming it unsafe. Now, comparing it to the Moon Dust palette, the bigger sister that came out a couple years ago, the pans are the same size, and it kind of actually matches the whole theme of just no mattes, just all shimmer. I don't reach for my Moon Dust palette as often these days, but only if there's a party or a special event. I think it's good to have as a staple in your makeup collection. Now, moving back to the Charlotte Tilbury, I picked up the Pillow Talk Luxury Eyeshadow Palette. These retail for $53, so getting only 4 eyeshadows, where you could be, again, getting 2 great eyeshadow palettes with ABH or Urban Decay. You're only getting 4 single shades that, for me at least, they don't even show up that much on my skin. So it doesn't even show up on my skin. So unfortunately, I have to say this is a pass for me. It's a no for sure. Now, another thing I thought I would pick up, this is like super famous with her brand, is the Pillow Talk lipstick. Now, Pillow Talk it's very creamy and buttery, and it does smell really, really nice. But I will say that between this Pillow Talk, which is like $40, these from Too Faced are actually nicer, and they do smell a lot better. And I have gotten like a lot more use out of them, and these are my all-time favorite lipsticks. So I'm sorry, but I feel like this is a little overpriced. For $34, it also has its bad share of reviews on the Sephora website, with people calling it overhyped and not earth-shattering at all. So I'm not the only one. Anyway, another thing I decided to pick up was this. The Charlotte Tilbury Feline Flick eyeliner, retailing for $30. It also has a bad amount of reviews on the Sephora website, and the price range is still on the pricey side for an eyeliner. So I thought, why not review this as well and compare it to, let's say, Kat Von D. Now, the tip does look pretty fine, but it's not watery like some people and some reviewers said. It does have a lot of pigment, and I want to compare it to the Kat Von D Trooper, because even though the outside is brown, it's still black on the inside. It's kind of misleading. It makes you think you have a brown eyeliner with their whole packaging being brown. And compared to Kat Von D, it's pretty decent. I would say same level of pigmentation, probably a little bit more thicker. So who knew? Another thing I picked up was the lip liners. Now, the lip liners actually do match that shade, and they go really well together for a lip liner. I think they're creamy and they're good, and so that, for that reason, they're here to stay. So overall, my thoughts with this Charlotte Tilbury line is, I think the first Starry line was good. I didn't get any luck with these or any of the other products. I also picked up her Cheek to Chic palette, which is like $40, just to see if it's also worth the hype or not. And I'll be honest with you guys, I found it really hard to work with because, you know, apparently you're supposed to use the middle part as a highlighter and the outer part like kind of like a blush, and I just find it a little bit more gimmicky and not showing up so well on my skin. I don't know if you had the same issues with it, but for me, this was also a pass. Now, I don't know if you guys own any of her products or not, but I don't understand the hype, to be honest. I might pick up another quad just to compare it. But with the exception of the Starry Eyes palette, so far I haven't seen anything to make it worth the price. The liners were good, and party favor, I actually didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty decent. Now, I know you're going to get a lot of fallout with this, but this is for New Year's, so I think this is just, it should be called just New Year's Eve palette, whatever, that'd be fine. So anyway, I also did pick up the Melt Cosmetics Amor and Morte Vida palettes, and I will be reviewing those shortly for you guys in upcoming videos. As always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below which palettes you liked, which one you're picking up, and as always, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.